most important single factor in the South African army, the soldier. All our efforts are directed at equipping him physically and otherwise for the defense of our country.
Thank you all for being with us to send off my firstborn to do his military service.
Jeff.
You'll be okay, son. Show them what you're made of.
Jy is nie meer iemand nie. Julle is rowe. En is ons werk om julle rowemans te probeer maak. Swart barbare is op ons voorstoep. Luigat geit. Moffie geit. Kaffer simpatie. Sal nie geduld word nie.
Man, won't you hurry? 'Cause I'm tired of these scenes.
Sugar man met a false friend on a lonely, dusty road.
Do whatever you can to stay invisible.
I'm not like you.
Sugar man makes my questions disappear.
Kai, pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Greg. Pleasure to meet you too.
You know, I guess it's hard to really sum up in a sound bite, but what are the most important lessons you learned from your father? You know, just getting close to him during the making of Moffie. What are the most important things you learned about his own experience, and how did that feed your own journey with this film?
I think the most important thing that I kind of learned was to be aware of the kind of damage that we carry with us, and really to kind of interrogate that heritage and see how it might be playing out in our lives today. So that was probably the most important thing for me. But in terms of the filmmaking process, the most important thing that my father kind of gave me from his experience was the knowledge of how much fear there was during apartheid in 1981, how scary the government was, and how powerful the apartheid machine was.
You know, Kai, this is such an amazing performance, wonderful film. It is your debut film, lead role, and it's a lead role in a movie that's so layered. How were you able to do it in layman's terms? Was it just as simple as putting one foot in front of the other on a personal level for you?
I know. I mean, I always talk about that moment when you get a film, and I think most actors have this feeling. You get it, and then there's the sudden dread of how am I going to pull this off? But luckily, I had enough time, and I had great support from our director, Oliver Hermanus, and we really worked through kind of all the layers and tried out many different kind of things to work this character out. So by the time I set foot on our first day of shooting, I felt pretty confident in the character, and I was able to just kind of submerge myself into the filming process and just kind of trust the process. I think that's the most important thing as an actor, and the most difficult thing is kind of to trust the process of filming to unravel this character that you've worked so hard to create.
You know, this movie hit stateside on Friday, but just wondering what kind of reactions have you received from this movie, just from cinephiles and people, and how gratifying has that feedback been for you personally?
Yeah, I mean, it's always amazing to kind of see your film receive the kind of reviews that we've got. And it's been, and I think on a more personal level is kind of the impact that the film has made on people. I've experienced it in London, and I've experienced it at home here in South Africa as well. It's just how much this film has meant to people. And I think that's always kind of the most powerful thing, right? Is people, if you've got people on the street walking up to you and just saying, thank you for that, the film and the performance, it really moved me and helped me understand myself a little bit better. That's for me always kind of the greatest compliment.
Kai, I do a movie podcast, so just right off the top of your head, can you name one of your all-time favorite movies, and what is it about this film that still resonates with you?
I wish I had, I'd go into kind of like some cinephile, but I have to say, Forrest Gump is one of my all-time favorites. And I don't know what it is about that film. I think it's just such a layered performance and so unique, and it's got a powerful message behind it. But then one of my more kind of contemporary films that I'm in love with would be High Life by Claire Denis.
Wow, great choice on High Life, by the way. My final question to you is: I saw in a previous interview that you plan to move to the UK, and are you scared? Are you excited? And how good is it to know that with your move you have such a quality piece and journey and experience like Moffie behind you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as an actor, you kind of wait for roles like this, you dream of roles like this, and to have this kind of behind me is a real support. But I mean, obviously there's a little bit of dread, and I think the pandemic has made things even kind of more complicated. But I'm excited for my next chapter and to see what the world of film and theater have to offer and what I can offer to them.
And before you leave, I think one of the biggest strengths of Moffie is that it's not sentimental or saccharine. It's very realistic. Is that just as watching it yourself, is that one of the movie's many strengths in your opinion?
I think so. Yeah, I think the thing is there's no kind of frills to it. We really try to interrogate what the truth of every single moment was. And hopefully we've done a good job in capturing that.
Kai, thank you so much for your time, and talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for the time. Have a good one.